it out. Oh dear.
We're back, staring at the camera.
We are.
Right. Yeah. So this is Emma.
Hi.
And I'm Steph. And we're two of the tutors here at the Bead Shop. And we're about to launch our new workshop timetable, so we thought we'd show you a few of the actual examples before they go onto the website. So a lot of them have been influenced by people's opinions, talking to customers in the shop, which is always really, really useful and very informative. So one of the first things that we knew were going to turn into a workshop for this timetable was Emma's lovely necklace. So in Emma's spare time, she writes a crafty blog, and one of the very popular items was this lovely statement necklace.
It was. Everyone kept coming in and asking me, oh, that's a lovely necklace. So I kept directing them to it, and people were buying all the bits to make it. So we decided that we'd turn it into a workshop because people were still asking about it. So we get to make one of the lovely necklaces, and I've also designed a coordinating bracelet to go with it as well.
And Emma's chosen quite nice contrasting cord to go with.
I do like a contrast.
Excellent. It makes things stand out. I think it's quite nice sometimes to see how things are made as well.
Yeah.
Rather than it all being invisible.
Everyone's also obsessed by threads being invisible, but I quite like.
Why not make a feature of it?
Show them off.
Yeah. So leading on from that slightly, we also have been getting a huge amount of people coming in for getting their pearls restrung, as well as just asking loads of questions about what to use for stringing materials. So what threads are appropriate for knotting. So we've decided to actually run a very, very basic class, but just showing people how to do knotted necklaces. So for this workshop, we're going to be using 6mm Swarovski pearls, which come in a huge range of colours and really effective. This one's the rose gold. It's very pretty, very elegant. And then if you want to make more of a statement, we have got the lovely blackberry. Every time I am using blackberry pearls in the shop or at Bead Group, I'm always, oh, what colour is that? That's lovely.
It is a nice colour.
Yeah, and it's still, I suppose, relatively new for Swarovski, and some people aren't familiar with it yet. So that's going to be a really useful technique for people to learn. And the one that's caught most people's eyes so far when we've been giving people sneak previews at Bead Group or when we've been working on things in the shop has been this really, really nice
it's so pretty
Rivoli bracelet. So the Rivolis are new to us. We've just expanded our Rivoli range to include some very, very small ones, which will be online at the beginning of February. These are the really gorgeous Paradise Shine, which again is relatively new.
It is, it's not been out that long.
No, and it always seems to get lots of attention. And it's a simple netted technique, but by building up a net around one stone at a time, you can build up a bracelet quite nicely, and rather than having to sew everything together at the end, you're going to build it up as you go, which means you can just stop as soon as it's the right length.
It just looks amazing. It looks like it's set into metal from a distance, and then you look at it and you realise it's beaded. It's amazing.
Excellent. We've quite a few beaded examples here. That seems to be what we're getting more requests for these days. So we've got beaded Kumihimo as well. So Emma's made some lovely colour variations on these. This one just reminds me of spring straight away.
Yeah. Daisies. I thought make a daisy one, because it's not actually that difficult to create different patterns out of beaded Kumihimo. The moves are exactly the same if you know how to do basic Kumihimo. It's just where you put the different colours of beads, you can get lots of different effects. So you get some choice in that workshop of what pattern you create.
Yeah,
which is good.
We've also got another workshop using new beads. So we've been selling super duos for a while now. We've also now got mini duos, which
are
is
so
cute. They are very cute.
What are you doing these?
And made a really just simple beaded bezel. I quite often make all my bezels using peyote stitch, but I decided to do something a bit different. Yeah, indeed. This one's right angle weave. So you'll learn how to create the bezel and then build up to create the actual flower effect. I haven't sewn a backing on this yet, but it could easily be turned into a pendant or a brooch. I quite like a brooch on my winter coat. It'd be quite nice. Another beaded one. Again, this is probably quite a simple technique, but it's always so effective.
It looks so satisfying.
It is. That's very satisfying. Which is a flat spiral stitch.
That sounds wrong, the flat spiral stitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should be round.
That should be round. Yeah.
But really, really effective. And it's one of the first things that I thought looked really complicated. And when I first started beading, and I broke down and looked at how you actually make it, I was like, oh, okay. Beading really doesn't have to be as complicated as it initially looks. So I think that might be quite good for people. Even if you are quite advanced with beading, if you like the look of the bracelets, then why not just try something?
And it does look quite different. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that around lately as well. So.
And this is my personal example, and I've been wearing it an awful lot.
We do like to wear our examples, but get excited.
Yeah.
Why not?
And like this example.
Yes, exactly.
Last timetable.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. What else have we got?
I like this one.
Yeah.
It looked quite lacy and wavy.
Bit of wavy herringbone, which I'm sure my regular workshop goers are going to moan at me again because I always make things to fit my tiny little wrists.
She has sparrow wrists.
And I think, oh yeah, it fits me, it's great, let's stop it there. And then everyone's like, why is this so small?
Does it fit? I don't think it fits. No. Normal wrist, no.
Yeah, tiny child-like wrists. This is, again, a simple herringbone stitch, but by adding in beads in the middle, it creates this lovely subtle wavy effect, and it has a bit of a look of lace about it, I think, from a distance.
It does.
Really effective. And
talking of lace.
Oh yes, yeah. We have got a lovely lady called Suzanne joining us for this timetable, who is a bit of an expert with bobbin lace making.
She's been doing it since she was a little child, so she has.
Very, very talented. I've seen several of her examples, but we've decided to break things down so that we can actually introduce people to the technique. A lot of the time it looks far more complicated than it actually is, so it's going to be doing a simple bracelet design and also a brooch, and introducing a few beads in there as well. So that should be nice and versatile. I'm looking forward to joining that workshop as well. So the other few things that we've got on here which we've not mentioned yet, this one is a bit of a personal favourite of mine. It is a bit of a beast of a pendant. Absolutely love it. It's got a star design in peyote stitch, mounted, two sides mounted over a large 18mm wooden bead to create this lovely chunky bead. I've already written some of the instructions for this that also include slightly smaller versions, which are around 10mm or 12mm bead. So if you wanted to, you could have like a string of 3, a small one, large one and a small one. But in the workshop we'll just be starting with a nice big chunky one.
I think it's probably enough for one, isn't it? Just
it is.
To start off with.
Yeah, but if you want to further it, then that's a few options for you. But I really like that one. And one that everyone's been quite intrigued by so far is the lovely beaded.
It's been a labour of love.
It has been definitely a labour of love. Working out the ends for this did cause me a little bit of a headache, but I got there in the end and I'm really pleased with the results. So we're going to be, unfortunately, time-wise, we won't be able to do the whole cover in a workshop, but these little cute needle cases are perfect for storing all your beading needles in. But the idea is that you'll know how to do the base, get the pattern started, and even do the lid in the workshop, and then you'll be able to carry on at home quite easily with that one. Or join us for Bead Group or Craft Club to carry on. So it's quite
if you need support to finish it off.
A bit of helping hand, a bit of moral support and encouragement. It works well. And finally on the mat, which we've not talked about, is a lovely new Kiyop design. So these are, again, in the last workshop timetable, we had 3 different designs using the Kiyop Papuka beads, which are the lovely 2-hole triangular beads, and all of them went down really, really well, so I thought I'd invent another new one. And this is creating sort of a simple, I've called it a windmill design, and it's really...
I can see why.
Yeah. It's just a really simple way to do it, but also frames the little shapes quite nicely, and I've just turned it into a strung necklace as well, and then there's some cute little earrings to match too. So yes, I think that covers almost all of the new ones.
Yeah.
There'll be more information on the website about all of these, including more images, a much more detailed description of them rather than our ramblings. Any questions at all about the workshops, we'll obviously be happy to help and answer those, so you can always email us or find us on Facebook. We're also, as always, we run one-to-one tuition, so if there's a particular class that you really want to do but you can't make the dates, we're always happy to do one-to-one tuition, and we do that quite a lot these days. We do the same price, £20 an hour, plus materials, but if you want to bring a friend as well, we don't increase the charges, so if there's two of you that want to do it, it works out quite nicely, and you can always treat a friend.
Indeed. It's always fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
A couple of friends coming on. And we're also doing all our regular kind of workshops, so
yeah.
silver clay,
yes.
resin, all-day basics,
Yeah.
silversmithing, they're all still going as well.
Yeah, this was just a bit of a taste of the new ones. Yeah, excellent.
I think that's everything.
I think that is. Brilliant. Hope you see you on some of the workshops soon. That was quite so quick.
That's alright!
I did sort of go a little bit into workshop mode though.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay, we survived. I think it's time to come.